Alright, Dad. So, this is War Thunder. You're probably seeing my overlay for recording. Maybe not. I don't know. Um, well, let's see. So, basically, this is War Thunder. It's a free game. You can download it for free. You don't have to pay anything for it, and you don't need any money to fly or to get planes or anything. If you look here under Research, I literally have not all the planes, but all the ones I want. These ones here in gold are premium, which you have to buy with what up here is Golden Eagles, which you can buy these or you can just unlock them eventually. It takes a lot of what we say grinding to get to, there's like fighter jets from the Korean, Vietnam War era, and all sorts of different things. But, for example, P-38, one of my favorite planes in this game. Let's see if we can see one. Yeah, cannons and 50 cals. It's a good plane. One of my favorite to fly with. I don't have it on my list to play right now just because if you see up here it says battle rating, which is 3.0. It's kind of high. I like to play in that, but sometimes there's just a lot of people who play that rating and it gets kind of like a cluster of planes, and you get shot by your own friends quite a bit because everybody's trying to take whatever kills are available. So, but yeah, everything from the biplanes from the very early part of the war to, early war single fixed wing planes and bombers, everything from B-17s to dive bombers, pretty much everything's here. And I also have we have a lot of options through the German ranks. We have HE-112s and pretty much every Bf-109 that you could imagine. We also have things from the Russian sides, the Lags, the MiGs, then the Yaks, which are great planes. But I think some of these planes are actually designed off of the US things because we shared actually the P-40 with them in the very early war. We have the English with their Hurricanes, the Typhoons, Spitfires, and all their bombers like the Wellingtons, Sterling. I haven't really done too much here, but I do like the British. One of my favorite countries to fly is Japan because you get the beautiful Zero, which is a really terrifying plane when you're playing against Japanese planes because, well, for me, I know how to play, not to get into a turn fight with a Zero, but to kind of, we say, boom and zoom, come from a higher altitude, come down, spray some bullets, you can go back up. Because you can outrun a Zero, but you cannot outturn one. This is actually a new tree. If you see, there's not many planes. And actually the Italians have mostly just German planes that have either new names or, like they have it's a Bf-109, but it's like the Italian version. I guess the camouflages are different, and even French planes. I've done some of the French planes, which are quite fun, and because they're their own planes, but there's also a mixture of, like this H-75 is actually, I think, a P-36 or something like that. And, they have a couple of their own planes that they designed, but, the French really didn't do too well. And they're quite hard to play in this game because the planes are just underpowered and they don't have much armor and their guns are quite weak against, American and German planes. Even though you don't really fight against American planes much unless you play arcade, which I'm going to show you arcade battle today. So first thing I'm going to do is my plane of choice today is going to be the P-40. It was the first plane I've ever played as a simulator attack fighter with you on 1942, I think it was 1942 Pacific Air War Gold. There's also, different camouflages. I have this one on, but this is the probably the one you're most familiar with. I think the one I have is I've unlocked as a British African theater version, but it's a battle rating of 2.3, which is where I like to be, and having 650 cals is pretty much like anybody's worst nightmare, pretty much for any theater. I mean, the Germans had some cool cannons and stuff, but nothing like this. So let's go. We're going to do an arcade battle. Wait, hold on. I just want to make sure if there's anything else. Oh yeah, well, for example, we can go to modifications, which there's different assortments of bombs you can take, different types of ammunition, and if you see here we have fuselage repair, radiator, compressor, and these are just upgrades where you can, this is a P-40E, but at first it's like a P-40C or something, but the different upgrades you add on to it just changes it to the different versions they produced during the war. And I have mine fully upgraded just because it's one of my favorite planes in the game. I also have, which I didn't have to pay for, but I won, is this P-51. Yeah, go here. Which is a beautiful plane, but I usually use this when I'm doing bomber interception missions or high altitude fighting with like BF-109s and stuff like that if I'm playing against the Germans, because nobody can touch me in this thing. But it's a little, we say, overpowered. It's a little too much for what we're going to do today. So we're going to go here, and we're going to hit, here you have arcade battles. You can even do, they have tanks, and they also have like boats and submarines you can play as, but I normally play as airplanes. You have Air Arcade, which is more just getting in, shooting, and you know, there's like 2 teams and there's objectives that you have to fight. But in arcade, like, you can have on your team like any country. Like, it depends on what people have. Like, I could be playing with Japanese, Germans, British, and all the other different countries versus another team with the same mix of countries. Or if you do Air Realistic, these are actual campaigns where if you pick a Japanese plane, you're going to be on the Japanese and only fly Japanese planes. And then there's simulator battles, which are just like Air Realistic. Well, for example, Air Arcade, you don't have to worry about tearing your wings or flaps off if you're diving too fast, or flat spinning and stuff like that, which I have also. The F4U is a good plane that I like, but it flat spins a lot when you're coming out of a climb. It tends to flat spin. I like to, say if I'm getting chased by something that's much better than me, I'll climb until I stall, and then I'll flip it over on its back and kind of have a head-on with whatever's chasing me. And it's a good plane to do that, but it tends to flat spin. Simulator battles is just a lot like Air Realistic, but there's no third-person view. It's all in the cockpit, and you have to have a joystick. It's just all real controls and stuff like that. So it's very difficult to play in this. But today we'll do Air Arcade so I can jump into a battle quicker and show you what's going on. So here we go. Hold on. Yeah, I'm going to start with the P-40. I also have a TBF with me, a P-47, which is a fun plane. Kind of an air tank and kind of slow, but a P-400, which I believe is after World War II, but there's a whole mix of everything pre-World War II all the way till present, well, not present day, but Vietnam era, and they're starting to add more from every other era. My P-40, my F4F, which is a good plane, and another favorite of mine, which you raised me to love, is the Hellcat. And I'll be taking that one out with me, and a SB2U, which is a new plane I just picked up that I want to work on. But yeah, it would bring you through the... I have a torpedo. I was doing a mission where I was against a Navy. It's a naval fighter, so I was doing naval missions with it and cleaning up everybody. My F4F, which this thing's a tank, Dad. This thing like takes so many bullets and keeps on shooting. My P-40, which you've seen. My P-400, which I believe is Korean War, Vietnam era. It's got a 20mm cannon here in the front, and it says up here in the nose, then it has two 12.750 cals. And then on the wings it has 4 Browning 30 cals, which I believe is the 7.62. Yeah, Browning machine gun. I think that's 30 cal. I don't remember. The P-47, which is a beautiful beast, and my TBF. I like the dive bombers just because they're a little bit more maneuverable. I also have, you know, my all-time favorite. I have a B-25 also, but a B-17. But unless you're flying realistic and people fly in a formation with you, you kind of just stick out like a sore thumb, and pretty much every player on the map, in arcade at least, will come and come kill you. But I mean, this thing has enough guns to defend myself, but it's really difficult sometimes when you have more than one person coming at you from different angles. And people know about the, you know, different angles that they're able to attack you from, but the B-17 is pretty much covered on all sides. But yeah, so unless you're flying in, usually if you're flying realistic, people form up. It takes a while for the game to start because you circle around the airfield till all your other bombers are with you, and then you head to your coordinates. And that's pretty much it. I'm probably missing a bunch of stuff, but
Yeah, I'm working on collecting this B-34. I've never flown one, so when I get in there. So let's go to battle. I'm on European and US servers up here. You can check them. So now it's just going to find me a battle. Oh, up here it says, if you can see quickly, 62,000 people more or less, and about 1,500 people are in a battle right now. This is ground strike, so there will be some bombing, bomber aircraft. I'm going to select tracers. I'm going to carry bombs, but I can jettison them if I get into a fight, no problem. I have my gun set to 600 meters. The fuel amount I'm putting on the minimum load just because I probably won't survive even 18 minutes, and if I do, I can always return, or RTB, return to base to pick up more fuel and repair myself. My bomb activation time 0. I'm going to spawn at the fighter. Yeah, fighters. No user skin. That's, you can like customize your skin and put decals like, you know, the teeth or anything like that on it. But let's do it. Let's get in. So here I'm in my cockpit. You can hold the C button down. You can, there's my airfield over there. These are all my teammates. Probably some bombers up high. A-35, which I think is like twin plane. Maybe not. I don't remember. I think it's like a TBF or something. No, I'm playing arcade, so I have people from, let's take a look here. I have a German DO-217, an MS, which I think is also German. A P-38 is over here with me, but the guy in green is my teammate. He's like my fixed teammate. I'm going to jettison my bombs in the fact that I'm going to head in for some battle right now. It's a night mission too, so it might get dark unless this, unless the mission changes, or it ends quickly, but here we go. We have a Russian lag. Trying to take out my buddy here. Hits off him. Combat flap, slow down. Oh, I'm getting shot at. Boom. Who's on my back here? Oh! Good thing about the P-40, it pretty much about outruns everybody. Oh, that was a heavy hit. You can see on the, oh, my wing. There goes my aileron. You see, there's ground fighters, there's people fighting in pillboxes. It's like all-out war. Let's see if I outran that guy. Yeah, he can't touch me. Okay, get some altitude here. There's a Spitfire on me. Oh. My wingman tried to take him out. Let's go down further. He wants blood. Well, oh, he's missing part of his wing, so take that. Oh, and a Yak. This is a Russian plane. Oh, he took out my pal here. He's gonna die now. I'm gonna hit his fuselage, get some combat flaps, turn around quicker. Here we go. Ah, got him. I still have more stuff. I should probably return to base because I don't have a fuel leak. Still quite stable. Oi. Almost had a flat spin. I'm pretty sure you call it a flat spin. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure, like, you know what, it's like you try to turn too much and your plane literally just starts spinning in circles until you can pick up some airspeed in the front. I think it's called like a flat stall or a flat spin or something. Let's see, we have a couple other Russian planes over here. British. Hurricane. B-18, which I'll probably go pick that up. There's a FW-190, which are pretty scary at this battle rating, but let's take a look. But if you look at the bottom left of the screen, you can see, here, I'll put it here. There's a yellow marker on my tail rudder, or my ailerons. That's my elevator, what am I saying? That are kind of chewed up. You can see here on my wings are kind of chewed up. Plane's still being quite stable, so stay here. Alright. 836? Yeah, I'm gonna go help out my guy over here. Probably gonna drag some attention, but as long as I keep my elevator pitch where I'm climbing a little bit but picking up speed, I should be okay. Now you can see the flames coming out of the engine. My gear. Oh yeah, look at that big hole. Alright, this 836 has picked off my teammate, which he's probably going to try to climb. He's going to come down on me. Yeah, there he goes. He's coming over. Oh, I can hear flak. Or maybe he doesn't care about me. He seems to be more worried about the bombers up there, which I don't blame him. Here, we're gonna go pick this guy off. He's got tail gunners up. He's gonna try to ram me. Oh, eat it. 50 cals are pretty much impenetrable on this thing to go head to head. His guy's parachuted out. Saved his crew. Good man. Alright, let's see what else we got going on over here. So use WASD to kind of, roll and pitch. Well, W and S is to control your throttle, and if you hold W, you have WEP, which I believe stands for War Emergency Power, but I'm not too quite sure on the fundamentals of how that works. But let's take a... Oh, this MiG wants me. Oh, this is gonna be it for me. Oh, I survived. Taking a lot of damage. I can outturn the MiG though. Oh, he's kind of hurt. I might have gave him a critical hit. Oh, bombs recharged. Oh, enemy assist. Here we go. Get this guy. Oh, there we go. Picked him off. I'm quite damaged now. Just kind of roll. Hopefully my teammates can pick him off. Oh, I wasn't paying attention to where I'm going, but let's see. That's the idiot who killed me. Let's see. Yeah, let's take out the big guns here. We're obviously not going to be using a torpedo or any bombs, so we'll just go straight up with my I like using tracers. I don't need to use any of the armor-piercing rounds. I kind of have a good feel for aiming ahead, and you've probably seen that it's pretty easy for me to get kills at, I'm only doing a couple bursts here and there to try, well, I'm kind of spraying bullets, but praying and spraying. But in realistic, if you run out of ammo, you have to return to base. You run out of fuel or bombs, you have to return to base to recharge. And it's not as easy to kill. You see that there's like a little ball. Once I get closer to, see, I can open the, no, not this one. You can open the cockpit, but once you get close enough to a guy like this lag 3 here, you'll see a little ball to it kind of shows me where I have to lead my cursor. I just took out my buddy. Oh! That was close. F2A. Oh, that's a fun plane, but Jesus Christ. It's a little tiny plane. It's catching up to me. Alright. The thing is I can't outturn that. I have to hope in the fact that I can just kind of take him towards my base, and he gets hit by the flak, but hopefully that Fury over there, which I believe is a dive bomber. Oh, the P400, come on. Alright, 400. Come on, guys. Help me out. Oh, someone died. That was him. F2A, where is he falling? There he is. I lost both of his wings. Oh, that was my guy. They must have collided. Let's head back. Here, I'm going to start another video so I don't have too much compression on this upload. Give me a second.